Welcome to the Muck Grind Show. muckandgrind.tv. Round 2 is underway. So exciting. We've got Jeremy Northrup here. I'm Kayla Morgan. We didn't have picks. We couldn't get a show in before the East was finished. We had so many Game 7s. But we're going to start off with the Western Conference today anyway. The Phoenix Coyotes are up 2-0, have been making the vaunted defense of the Nashville Predators look like mincemeat. What is going on here, and are the Nashville Predators in too big of a hole right now?
I really don't know. The Nashville Predators down 2-0. I would have never expected it. You got some people, Radim Vrbata heating up, Mike Smith playing great, Pekka Rinne being a bit shaky. 3 goals on 23 shots, and then Game 2, 5 goals on 39 shots. So he actually played a bit better in that one. But Pekka Rinne not playing like Pekka Rinne.
Not at all. The defense looks like, I don't know, what is this, that 10-3 game we saw in the Penguins-Flyers series?
Yeah.
They look unbelievable. We thought we were going to have defense all over the place in the West, but especially in this series, too. You've got the Coyotes D, you've got the Predators defense, but we've got guys like Shea Weber not playing well, Radulov not playing well, Pekka Rinne not playing well. I mean, after they lose Game 1, really shocking the way they came out in Game 2 and give up, 5 goals to the Phoenix Coyotes. But hey, Ray Whitney was the hero in Game 1 in overtime. That tip in off the faceoff.
Yeah, great play.
Game 2, Shane Doan gets the last goal on a tip. I think he had a goal and an assist, or get goal and 2 assists. And Mike Smith threw all of it.
Yeah.
So we've got the Phoenix Coyotes have won at home, and now it's going back to Nashville. So they always say the series hasn't really started until it's been played in both buildings, or it's not over until somebody wins on the road. Phoenix Coyotes have to go on the road, so this could easily be even up 2-2 in a couple days. Yeah. But, man, who saw this offense coming from the Phoenix Coyotes?
Yeah, I actually saw a stat this morning. It said Sunday's game marked the 4th time in 6 meetings with Rinne this season the Coyotes have scored at least 4 goals. In 6 games against Rinne, the Coyotes have 21 goals and average a 3.5 a game this season against them. So we should have expected it, apparently.
Why didn't we see this?
This stat was nowhere. The stat was nowhere before the playoffs.
We didn't expect the Coyotes to win this series. Neither of us picked this.
Yeah, up 2-0.
How about that wacky Leguan goal where he tried to glove the puck and threw it in front of the
over
net?
The top.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I agree. That was a crazy goal for sure.
Yeah, well, the other goal in the second game that was just absolutely nuts was the puck movement on the first goal of the game, the Vermette goal, was like a tic-tac-toe through the Predators' D.
Did it even hit the ice?
You might not have. And you just had to say right there, that was a sign of things to come. Yeah. The other big thing I'm remembering from
5 goals in this playoffs for Vermette, for the record.
He's on fire, buddy. He's your favorite player.
He is my favorite player.
The other thing I remember, how about in Game 1? Remember the Michael Bodker 2-on-1? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Who the hell has that much patience on a 2-on-1?
Yeah,
usually you've got the D breathing down your neck and somebody trying to steamroll you. Yeah. Even if you're going to score, they're going to nail you.
Yeah.
He waits and waits and waits and then just buries it.
Finally scores a real goal.
A real goal. A regulation goal. All right, Trotz has got to get these guys together.
For sure.
I never thought they'd play like this. But we got to move on to the next series here in the West. We've got the Kings up 2-0. This is the reverse, though. The road team has won the first 2 games. Yeah. Talk about digging a hole. The St. Louis Blues giving up a ton of goals, doing it at home. Now the Kings are going to go home and can take real control of this if they win Game 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think the story in this is going to be shorthanded goals, I think.
Oh, my God.
Trying to do the best Penguins impression, letting up all these shorthanded goals. They'll completely kill your team. And Jonathan Quick also, again. I mean, we keep talking about him. I mean, in the first game, he didn't have to make many saves, but I mean, he's been great still. Another
series that was supposed to be dominated by defense, and we have goals all over the place. Like you said, shorthanders. Dustin Brown's the king of shorthanders.
Exactly.
He had 3 assists last night in a 5-2 win.
He's got 4 shorthanded points.
The captain coming through at the most opportune times. The Kings sweep the first 2 at Scottrade. Brian Elliott was just shelled. Brian Elliott was shelled early. 4 goals in the first period last night. 5 total. But it was over after the first. I don't think they're going to come back after a 4-0 deficit. And you've got to say, man, going into this series, going into the playoffs, the Blues had 2 goalies. Right now they have none because they announced after the game, Hitchcock came out and said Halak is not playing this series. Mm-hmm. So they actually briefly pulled Elliott last night. It might have been an equipment thing or injury thing. I'm not sure what happened there. He came back. But that is the worst sign for the Blues, that their goaltender has not been playing well. And they can't switch in. They can't put Halak in to try to get a momentum change.
Yeah, that's huge. I couldn't believe it. I thought after the game yesterday, like, okay, they're going to come back with Halak tomorrow. But then Hitchcock comes out and says, you know what? No Halak. Elliott's the guy. Elliott has to win this series. the Kings look fantastic. I mean, we said before the playoffs that they had a hard time scoring goals. They've been lighting up the Blues. They've been getting great goaltending.
Defense in the league.
I don't even know what's going on. This Kings team looks like a Stanley Cup winner right now. They're good.
Yeah, I mean, I picked the Kings to win this series, but I didn't think it was going to go like this. My God. I thought it was going to be a little longer at least and not go up 2-0 on the road. How about no Peter Angelo for the Blues after the hit in game one? Little controversial there. And then, like I said, Halak's out. These are big. No Peter Angelo is a big loss for them. Defensively, Andy he's got a good shot from the point, could wrist it in there. They've got nothing there. They've gone from 2 goalies to having none. I don't know. Hitchcock's a great coach. We saw the turnaround, but he's got to have a quick turnaround here to get it going, turn things around in LA. I mean, this looks worse than the hole the Preds are in right now.
Yeah, the Blues are also 0 for 12 in the power play. They did really well against San Jose in the first series, and now they just can't get in. I mean, they can't beat Quick. They're having a really hard time with Quick in the defense, and they're getting goals against. Just a mess.
Yeah, if you can't beat Quick, you're
not going to beat anybody.
But who is going to beat them?
Yeah.
All right, another game last night. The Caps tie the series at 1-1 against the Rangers. Alex Ovechkin, if you were wondering where he was in this series, boy, did he show up in a big way. Game-winning goal. Both of these teams were in a long, tight 7-game series. Is there any reason to think that this is not going to go the same way after what we saw last night?
No, I think this series is up in the air. I think any team could really win it. I mean, if Ovi starts playing well, I mean, he only got 13 minutes of ice time last night and still had 7 shots on net. This guy is on fire. And Dale Hunter seems to be doing something right. I think all of his big stars are getting limited time. Yeah. But Ovechkin, it seems to be working in his advantage. Maybe he's not tired. I don't really know. It's 7 shots, the game-winning goal. He looks great. Silences the crowd 30 seconds after the Ovi sucks chant. I mean, Dale Hunter's doing something great here.
Yeah, Dale Hunter, I think, is the huge story of this week. About Ovechkin specifically, he did say, I don't know if he was joking or not. It sounded like a joke after the game. It said they were asked him in the presser why so little ice time. He said, "Well, we're saving him for the power play."
Yeah,
and then he scores that power play goal. I don't know if that was a joke or not because they have been limiting Ovechkin's ice time at points throughout the season
for matchups apparently.
Yeah, and Hunter's keeping him as a great wrister from the point. He waited for the perfect time with that screen they had set up in front. I think Hunter is the story here. He's got these guys motivated. After a loss like they had in Game 1, we saw the same thing in the first round. After a loss, you think, oh, the Bruins have control of this series.
Yeah.
They come back and played a tight as hell game here.
Yeah.
They got a little help from the posts. Del Zotto had two posts in the third period, but you got to get a little help from that. And Hunter's got these guys locked in and ready to play, and we're in for a series.
Yeah, you got Ovechkin saying you have to suck it up and play for the team. Like, this is Alex Ovechkin. This is Alex Ovechkin. That's what he says after the game. You know, I don't know what Dale Hunter's doing, but, I mean, with this kind of stuff, you got to think, even if he loses this series, he's made this team into a defensive team. He's changed it completely.
Yeah.
And Chris Kreider, I want to shout out to. He looks like an NHL star. 2 goals and assists, and since he's been in the series, he looks great. I think he's getting top line time with Richards. This guy's going to be a stud.
His speed was unbelievable. He had that breakaway in Game 2 that Holtby stopped.
Yeah.
His speed on that was amazing. First 3 steps was sick. That goal in Game 1, though, where he just skated it and blasted it, that made Holtby look bad.
With a great assist yesterday, was it Callahan maybe or something? An assist yesterday, I think, but it looked great off the corner.
Rookie, I talked about him in the first
I hardly knew who he was, and here he is, Chris Kreider.
I said, why are you even playing if he's getting so little ice time?
Exactly.
Man, he shut me up.
Exactly.
All right, we got to move on. Danny Briere, what a surprise. Mr. Overtime hero, Mr.
Clutch,
Playoff hero for the Flyers. Gets the win, 1-0. We got Game 2 tonight. It's all about Danny Briere, isn't it?
Yeah, he didn't get the memo that it wasn't win by 2 in overtime because he kicked it in. I think after he also admitted that he did kick it in afterwards. I think sheepishly I saw he was like, I kicked it in. There was no denying it.
He's so good. He got 2 overtime goals.
He got 2 overtime goals, exactly. He's that clutch, you know.
Yeah.
I'll score 2 times.
That's right. He's got 3 career playoff overtime goals, 13 career game-winning goals in the playoffs, 106 points in 103 playoff games. Give me a break.
He steps up. I mean, he's a great player during the regular season. He's even better during the postseason. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Flyers team, they have so many scorers that, I mean, deadly. Yeah. They're deadly.
This is exactly what the Cup winners of recent years have had, depth.
Yeah.
It's not about one big line, one big player, or just having a goaltender. You have to have depth. Every team that's going to play you in later rounds is going to have guys who could shut down your top guys. So you have to have second and third backups to score, second and third levels of scoring, and Philly has this. Giroux had a huge power play goal and an absolute bomb blast on the power play.
Sure.
And
I was having nightmares. Looked just like the goals against the Penguins. I saw that goal. I was like, oh, God.
that was a bomb.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Philly gives up an ugly goal to Peter Sikora to tie it.
Yeah.
Brizgalov, I mean, granted, he faked the slap shot, but he just slides a 5-hole. Brizgalov's got to have
Every
that
goal
save.
was 5-hole, I think, on Brizgalov, actually.
He's got a gaping 5-hole.
Yeah, he does.
And then they were able to come back because of guys like Danny Briere. James Van Riemsdyk that came in back in the late in the Penguin series, didn't have an impact, but now he is. They inserted him on the Briere line. That line with Voracek as well, had 3 goals in this game, in this first game tonight. No Kovalchuk, breaking news, no Kovalchuk tonight. Apparently a groin, lower body injury. Could be huge for the Devils.
For sure. I also just want to mention real fast that the Devils were shorthanded 8 times in game 1. And if we learned anything from the series against the Penguins, you don't want this Flyers power play. I mean, I think they stopped 7 of 8. Brodeur actually played really well.
Only
but
one power play.
That's lightning in a bottle, I think, against this team. This team can score
only
one
power play goal. But we saw in the first period how rusty the Flyers were. They had exactly a week off, Sunday to Sunday. They were rusty as hell. Brizgalov, for as ugly as that last goal was, he held them in that game in the first period. They had some like 12, 14, 15 shots in the first period against. He only let in 1. He held them in that game. So the rust is going to be gone. The rust is going to be gone off the power play too, I think.
Yeah.
So if the Devils get in that much trouble, you're in deep trouble.
They've got to stay out of the box.
All right. How about let's talk some NBC analysts right now. Keith Jones this weekend on Alex Radulov. They put a highlight package together during the intermission where he absolutely tore apart Alex Radulov's game through the first 2 games this series and tore him a new one. I think we might both agree that he deserved it, but maybe did Jonesy go a little far in singling out one player here?
No, if it's that easy to find all the clips of Alex Radulov during an intermission, I think that you should probably rip on somebody. I mean, he made a bit of an impact when he came back during the regular season, but he has 5 assists, but only 1 goal, and he looked lazy. I mean, I don't notice a lot of those plays like we were talking about before because you don't get to see it. Yeah. But he's just skating lazily up the ice. Like, what are you doing on the goal in the crease? Like,
you don't get to see him behind the play for the most part, but when you see these replays, you are just blown away.
I couldn't believe I was seeing this. This guy is KHL MVP, and here he is.
Well, is
he just cherry picking or what? Is that what he's doing?
That's the unfortunate thing. Is this KHL hockey? Because I want to bring up another one. Ilya Kovalchuk, who we were just talking about, the next day they brought up another highlight package showing how Ilya Kovalchuk was just loafing and not contributing at all for the Devils, and they could really use this guy. And both of these Russians here doing the stereotypical Russian thing and not playing hard in the playoffs, skating lazily behind the play, not really into it, just waiting for their opportunity and not doing anything defensively. So we've got 2 Russians here who should be the stars of their teams, just contributing so negatively that they have to be singled out on national TV, showing the replays of them just loafing.
Yeah, I wanted to say that Kovalchuk has been better this year, I think, defensively. Yeah. He still gets a ton of offensive points. I mean, he was like 4th or 5th in scoring this year. But yeah, he's been a bit better, but I don't know. Maybe this injury has been a lot worse. I don't really want to. I think Kovy gets a little bit more flack than maybe he should get, but I think that, I mean, if you can find these highlight packages that quick, like I said before, maybe they're doing something wrong.
Yeah, Radulov was ugly.
That was terrible.
Radulov deserved it. Maybe they should. Maybe we should rip him on Thursday for our next show. Yeah. We'll put a highlight package together and just rip him a new one. All right, but yeah, that's right. Next show Thursday. Sorry we didn't have any video clips this week. We had technical difficulties, but we'll be back on Thursday with the full-on show. Jeremy Northrup, Kayla Morgan, Muck and Grind Show, muckandgrind.tv. Thanks for joining us.
Tune in next time for another episode of the Muck and Grind Show. Or check out past episodes anytime at www.muckandgrind.tv.